Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Suburban Proletarian. My name is Greg. This morning I want to make the second video in my Christmas unboxing series. A couple of days ago I unboxed my new Orient President, which I've actually been wearing for the last few days, and I'm pleased to report I'm still quite happy with this watch, and it's running about 16 seconds per day fast. Although it's definitely still in the settling in period, so we'll see how it shapes up, and a review of that watch will be coming up. But today, I want to take a look at that which I keep trying to knock on the floor, which is my new 1963 Seagull Chinese Air Force Chronograph reissue, which my wife so kindly gave to me this year for Christmas. I don't have an awful lot to say about it here. You probably would rather just go over to the tabletop and take a look at it. So let's do that. All right, guys. So here is the Seagull 1963 Chinese Air Force Chronograph. And right off the bat, you can see it was not shipped in a Seagull box. And the reason this watch wasn't shipped in a Seagull box is because I bought it from a third-party seller. It was probably put together by a third-party assembler in China, and I bought this watch at a significant discount, or I should say my wife bought me this watch for Christmas at a significant discount on Alibaba. So it came in this box, which is branded Suguess or Sugess. I do not know what this brand is. I have to say that I'm impressed with the Chinese, even though they're still coming up with silly names, they're at least using talented graphic designers to design the logos, because this is actually quite beautiful. I have no idea what it is, but it looks classy, it looks nice. So anyway, the watch just comes in a basic box. It's got a cardboard sleeve over it. And I do apologize, it's a little bit dry here. I put some lotion on my hands earlier this morning, and I left some greasy fingerprints on the sleeve, so oh well. Anyway, it's just a friction fit type sleeve that we can slide the box out of. Sorry, that was a little out of focus. That's better. And the box is pretty much more of the same as the sleeve. It's got that same lovely, mysterious Sugess logo on there, or Suguess. And this is not a hinged box. It's a conventional box. So the lid, which is thick and substantial, this is really quite a nice box, but the lid just lifts off of there. And we'll set that aside over here. And the top of the box has a tray with a little velvet ribbon there to pull on to lift the tray out. And the tray just contains a Seagull watch manual. Unlike the Orient manual that we looked at the other day, this one's not done up in 6 different languages. It's done in English on one side, and pretty well written and composed English for that matter. Seagull is, I think nowadays, the largest producer of watches, although they're not really a very well-known brand name in the West, but I think they're the largest producer of watches in the world. And the quality of their publications reflects that. And then on the flip side of the book, it's in Chinese, and all of the instructions are in Chinese. And I am in absolutely no position to evaluate that because I don't read Chinese. So anyway, it's a nice little book. There is a warranty registration card in the middle of the book. I don't know that this will do me any good because although there is a Seagull movement inside this watch, again, I don't think the whole watch was put together by Seagull. But so we set that aside. Now it's time to lift out the little tray, which is just sort of fuzzy covered foam. Put that off to the side. And here is the watch. Now, again, this was a Christmas present. I did open it up and just take a peek at it the other day, but the plastics and everything are still intact. I haven't peeled anything off or revealed anything other than just to look in here very basically. And it looks great. Look, the hands, the little sub hands are even aligned. So we'll pull this out of here. So we got the watch, and it also came with a spare strap. Let's take a look at this. Says genuine leather, says 18 millimeters, and this does have an 18 millimeter lug width. Oh, it's got quick detach Barton style spring bars. That's nice. And it does look like genuine leather. Yeah, I do believe that's leather. I'm not really sure of the quality. We'll install this strap at some point and wear the watch on it, or some watch on it, and we'll see how that band holds up. But that's really sort of an extra. Let's set this whole affair out of the way and take a better look at the watch. Now, the watch comes installed on a NATO strap. I have seen these NATO straps dismissed as being really junky. I actually don't agree with that. Now, maybe they're not all the same, but this one's actually quite substantial. It's one of the thicker NATO straps I've ever seen. These keepers are made from absolutely massive stainless steel. They look to be quite good quality. The stitching is well done out of very heavy nylon thread, and the buckle is also quite substantial. So I would actually say that this is one of the better NATO straps I've seen a watch installed on from the factory. So anyway, because it is a NATO strap, and because we're going to want to take a look at the back of this watch, let's remove the NATO strap and just look at the watch head. So this is the 38 millimeter case. It comes in 38 millimeters and I think 41 millimeters. Although when I put a calipers across here from, let's say, 10:15 to 4:15, I'm getting something more like 37 millimeters. But this is ostensibly 38 millimeters. Again, it's got an 18 millimeter lug width, and it's just about 15 millimeters from front to back. It's a pretty thick watch, and that's largely due to the fact that, well, it's due to two factors largely. First of all, I did opt for the acrylic crystal, which is rather high and domed. And you also have to remember, we've got quite a complicated column wheel chronograph movement inside here. There's a lot of little wheels and such that you'll see very shortly. So it's pretty tall overall, and I haven't actually worn the watch, but I think it's going to sit fairly high off the wrist. So what I've seen so far is that the watch seems to be really nicely machined and polished. I haven't had a chance to really look at it in too much detail yet, but all the polishing and the grinding looks very good. The crown and the pushers were protected with some blue paint, which is a traditional thing. It's already peeled off of this pusher just from my handling it a little bit, and we can get the blue paint off of that pusher. And the crown, I'll edit that out a little bit. It looks like it's going to take a little more effort to get the blue paint off of the crown. So far all I've managed to do is expose the shiny star that's signed on there, and actually I'm not sure. I kind of like that look. I might just leave that alone for the moment. Anyway, let's get back to the more salient features of the watch. So this is the grand reveal. I promise I have not removed the plastic before now. So there it is, exposing the acrylic crystal. and it looks very nice. It's not scuffed or scratched at all. The dial is that lovely sort of antique cream color. All of the hands seem to be fairly well aligned, including the chronograph second hand. So this is a hand winding movement. As you can see, there's no automatic rotor back here. So we'll wind this up a little bit. Gave it 10 twists, and you can see that the seconds hand is moving already. Now these hands on the small subdials are one way that you can tell this was put together by a third-party assembler. If this watch had been assembled by Seagull, these would be two different hands. One would have the little tail, and one would not. Actually, I think it's this one that would have the tail, and this one which would not. But so you've got the minute hand, the hour hand. The watch is showing just before noon, although that's not correct. And this is the seconds hand. When you pull the crown out to set the time, no, it's not hacking. And you can actually set the time rather quickly. This moves along at a nice pace. Let's get these two hands out of the way of everything else. And the chronograph, this is a very standard two-hand chronograph. The top starts the chronograph second hand moving and stops it. And the bottom pusher resets the chronograph hand. This subdial will count off the minutes that the chronograph's running up to 30 minutes. This is just a 30-minute chronograph. It's not meant for timing all-day events or 12-hour events or anything like that. So the Seagull ST19 movement is also covered by plastic here, which we will peel off. And yes, wow, that looks very, very nice. The ST19 is kind of unique, first of all, in the fact that it's such an affordable mechanical chronograph movement, but more importantly, the fact that it's so affordable and it's a column wheel chronograph. I don't know if you'll be able to see the tiny little castellated wheel here, which is how the chronograph works. You can see that I've just set the chronograph in motion, and this lever here engages the column wheel. We'll stop the chronograph and reset. And usually column wheel chronograph movements are reserved for very high-end sort of haute horology pieces, or at least high-end luxury factory watches. This is a copy of the old Venus 175, and I'll talk about all of this in the future. I want to avoid having this turn into a review of the watch, but so far so good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to cut it short right now and say so far so good. The watch looks really great. Nothing seems to not be functioning. It looks very well executed, and for about half of the price of even a standard Seagull 1963 chronograph, I am very well pleased initially. We'll see how this holds up. I will certainly be wearing this watch and reviewing it in the future. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If you did, you know the drill. Please like, please subscribe, please click the bell icon. Tell your friends, share the videos, and when I post new content to the channel, I hope to see each of you here then. Later, guys.